20 years I have served in this estate, and today they want me to watch the man I love sign his name on a marriage contract with someone else. I stand at the end of the corridor, face composed, as always. From inside the council room, Shen Kaiheng's voice carries out. I won't sign. The room goes silent. Kaiheng. I said no. The sound of a chair pushed back. Footsteps. A door closing. And when his silhouette disappears behind that door, I am still standing there. A tea tray in my hands, understanding one thing. He just gave up everything. For me, a servant. I was born inside the Shen estate. Not because I was kept here, but because I never had a reason to leave. My mother Yulan came to work here when she was still young, 20 years as Lady Shen's most trusted attendant. She gave birth to me in a small room at the end of the East Corridor, the same room I still live in today. I am her only son. Grew up inside these walls, ate the estate's food, breathed the estate's air, and knew exactly who I was within them. Not with pride, but with the understanding of someone who knows where to stand, which way to look, and which lines never to cross. When I was 4 years old, Shen Kaiheng grabbed my hand and pulled me into the main dining room. I still remember the smell of that room. Warm, sweet. The smell of a place where people sit together and need no explanation for it. Kaiheng had pulled me to the center of the room when Lady Shen looked up. She said only one word, Kaiheng. He let go of my hand. The door closed. I stood alone in the corridor. The smell of food still drifted through the gap, but I was no longer inside. That was the first lesson of my life. Some doors are not meant for you even when someone once pulled you through them. Mother brought me to our small room and sat down in front of me. Next time, don't go in. But Kaiheng pulled me. No matter who pulls you. Her voice held no anger, no sorrow. The calm of someone who had said this to herself many times before saying it to her child. You are the son of a servant in this household, not a young master. Those are two different things, remember that. I was 4 years old. I did not fully understand, but I nodded. And I remembered. Mother was Lady Shen's closest attendant, not because she was more skilled than others, but because between the two of them there was something like genuine trust. Lady Shen was not warm with Mother. She was never warm with anyone. But she listened to Mother. In this estate, that was already enough. Shen Kaiheng was punished for climbing out the window to take me fishing at the back pond without asking anyone's permission. He sat copying characters 100 times and still smiled through it. The smile of someone who finds consequences far less frightening than doing nothing at all. Mother dragged me by the ear to apologize to Lady Shen. I knelt, recited the apology Mother had rehearsed with me outside the door. Lady Shen looked at me, then at Mother standing behind. Fine. Teach him to be more careful. Outside, Mother pinched my ear once lightly. Enough to say what she couldn't say in words. Kaiheng ran out, saw me rubbing my ear, and laughed. Next time I tell you to run, run faster. I looked at him and thought how good it is that someone laughs like that in this place. Mother began teaching me the trade when I was 12. You folded it wrong. But it's clean. Clean isn't enough. It has to be right. She adjusted my hands, square corners, straight edges, not a single crease out of place. In this household, people don't look at what you can do. They look at what you do wrong. I learned how to fold cloth, how to pour tea, how to stand at the right angle in a room so as not to be in anyone's way, how to be silent at the right moment, how to disappear when not needed. None of it was difficult. You only need to know who you are. Shen Kaiheng was 3 years older than Kaiheng and me. He rarely played with us, not because he didn't want to, but because from childhood he had been taught that certain things mattered more than play. When I was 7, I was mopping the corridor when he walked past. He stopped and looked at me. I stopped mopping and bowed my head. Good day, young master. He said nothing, just looked at me once, then walked on. I stood watching his back disappear at the end of the corridor. I only understood later he wasn't cold to me specifically. He was cold to everyone. Those are two different things. But at the time, I was just a 7-year-old boy holding a mop, not knowing what I was looking at. Mother fell gravely ill when I was 14. Not the ordinary kind of illness. The kind that, once you see it, you already know it won't get better. Lady Shen came to visit her personally every day. No one in the estate had ever seen her do that for any servant before. No one said it aloud, but everyone noticed. One afternoon, I stood outside Mother's door. I could hear Lady Shen's voice inside, speaking low. I couldn't make out the words. Only her voice, different from usual. Less cold. I didn't dare go in. I just stood there until she came out. She glanced at me as she walked past. Said nothing. But that glance, I never forgot it. Mother died when I was 15. The night before, she could still speak. I sat beside her bed, holding her hand. "Stay here," she said. "No matter what, stay. I know, Mother. Lady Shen won't send you away. She keeps her word." By morning, she was gone. I sat in the dark corridor outside, not crying. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I didn't know who I was allowed to cry in front of. Footsteps stopped behind me. Something was placed over my shoulders. I turned. Shen Kaiheng stood there, 18 years old, face as cold as always. He had laid his own coat across my shoulders. Said nothing. Walked away. I watched his back disappear at the end of the corridor. For the first time, I didn't know what I was feeling. Lady Shen stood before Mother's grave longer than anyone else. The head steward quietly asked, should Sibai be sent somewhere else? She shook her head. Let him stay. I didn't hear that. I only found out much later. But I stayed. Because Mother told me to. Because Lady Shen allowed it. Because I had nowhere else to go. 3 reasons. All of them true. None of them the reason I wanted. I differentiated into an omega at 16. Nothing dramatic about it. Just one morning I woke up and everything was different. The smell of this estate was different. The smell of the people in it was different. I lay still in bed, staring at the ceiling. The estate was full of alphas and betas. I was the only omega and a servant. Those 2 things together made a problem I had no solution for, except silence. Tell no one. Quietly change the way I stood, the way I spoke, the way I kept distance. Learn to make myself smaller still. Shen Kaiheng had differentiated into an alpha a year before me. From the day I differentiated, something shifted in the way he looked at me. Not differently in a bad way. Just he began to notice me. Before, I was one servant among many. Now, every time I walked past his study, he looked up. He said nothing. I said nothing either. But I knew he had caught my scent. And from that day, he stopped leaving pastries outside my door. I noticed. Didn't ask. Servants don't ask things like that. Shen Kaiheng differentiated into an alpha later. But he still pulled me along to do things as before. Still loud, still reckless, still treating boundaries as something not worth caring about. Only I knew I was trying to keep my distance. You look tense, he said one afternoon. I'm fine. You're not. I've known your face since we were kids. I didn't answer. He looked at me for a moment and let it go. Didn't ask again. I knew he had caught my scent too by then. He was just pretending not to know, so I wouldn't have to deal with it alone. That was how Kaiheng loved people. He never said it. He just stayed. One evening I was cleaning the corridor when Shen Kaiheng walked past. He stopped. I stopped too, and bowed my head as usual. But this time he didn't walk on. He stood there so still, I could hear the wind through the lattice window at the far end of the hall. Then he walked away. I straightened up and watched his back. I didn't understand why my heartbeat felt slightly off. I told myself, it's the alpha pheromones. A normal physiological response. Nothing worth thinking about. Then I bent down and kept cleaning. Shen Kaiheng assigned me as his personal attendant. No explanation given. One morning the steward simply announced from now on, Sibai would be responsible for young Master Kaiheng's study. Kaiheng heard and found me immediately. My brother requested it himself. How do you know? I was eavesdropping. He grinned. Don't you find that strange? His previous attendant just went back to his hometown. Kaiheng looked at me in a way that made me want to look elsewhere. Right. Must be it. That's what he said. But his face said something else entirely. Being Kaiheng's personal attendant meant I was close to him more. Heard more of his conversations. Saw things others didn't. Like the way he would stare out the window for long stretches while working. Not distracted. As though weighing something no one else was allowed to know. Or how every morning he would look at the cup of tea I brought in before drinking it, just look at it. As though confirming something. I never asked. Servants don't ask things like that. But I noticed. Because I couldn't help noticing. I fell ill one winter. A mild fever enough for the steward to give me a day off. I lay in the small room, staring at the ceiling. By afternoon, the door opened. Shen Kaiheng walked in. A box of medicine in his hand. Face as cold as always. As though walking into a servant's room with medicine was the most ordinary thing in the world. He set the box on the table. Take it on time. Then he left. Didn't wait for my thanks. Didn't explain how he knew I was sick. I stared at the medicine box for a long time. Told myself it's because he needs a functional attendant. A reasonable explanation. I tried to believe it. Kaiheng pulled me into the garden one afternoon. Do you know how my brother looks at you? I stopped walking. What are you talking about? I've seen it. He looks at me like a servant. No, he doesn't. Kaiheng looked me straight in the eye, not smiling, not joking. He looks at you in a way he doesn't look at anyone else. I've lived with him for 20 years, I know. I said nothing. He exhaled. Fine. If you don't want to talk about it. Turned and walked away. I stood alone in the garden. Heart beating slightly faster than normal. One evening I realized I had been looking at Shen Kaiheng. Not to do my job better. Not because I was waiting for instructions. Just looking. He was reading documents under the lamp. Hair slightly disheveled from sitting so long. His pen tapping gently on the desk out of habit. I stood in the corner of the room with a teacup in my hand. And realized I had been standing there longer than necessary. I hit the back of my own hand lightly. Set the cup down. Bowed my head. I'll take my leave, young master. Walked out. Leaned against the corridor wall. Breathed. Shen Kaiheng handed me a small notebook. Schedule log. Keep records. Yes. That night I opened it. It was not a schedule log. It was a list detailed to the point of unsettling. The tea I preferred. The hours I usually slept. Where I tended to sit when alone. Foods I couldn't eat. The kind of weather that made me fall ill. Written over many years. In Kaiheng's handwriting. I turned to the last page. Only one line. No date. He has never cried in front of anyone. I sat with the notebook in my hands for a long time. Hands trembling slightly. Kaiheng confessed one afternoon in the back garden. No preamble. No poetry about it. I like you. Even before the differentiation. I stood still. Not because I felt nothing, but because I knew exactly who I was in this household. Kaiheng. Don't say I'm joking. I don't think you're joking. I looked at him. I just think you haven't thought it through. I have. I'm a servant. Please don't make this harder for me. Kaiheng looked at me. For the first time since I had known him, he couldn't smile. Shen Kaiheng was standing behind the trees. He heard everything. I didn't know that until much later. All I knew was that he called me into the study that night. Gave me no tasks. Said nothing. Just sat in front of open documents he wasn't reading. I stood and waited. Stood until the clock struck 11. I'll take my leave, young master. He nodded. Didn't look up. I walked out. Not understanding why the air in that room felt so heavy tonight. The next morning, Shen Kaiheng left pastries outside my door. The first time since I had differentiated. I stood looking at the box for a long time. Didn't open it. Just looked. Then, picked it up. Brought it inside. Set it on the table. Sat looking at it a moment longer. Then opened it. Ate everything. Alone. in the small room at the end of the east corridor. I didn't know why the pastry tasted better than usual. Kaiheng found me after the rejection. Not angry. Not sulking. Just sat down on the garden steps beside me like when we were young. Like the fishing trips. Like the times we skipped lessons. I still like you, Kaiheng. I know you can't return it. I'm not asking you to. He looked up at the sky. I just want you to know what I feel is real. Not because you're an Omega. Not because of how you look. Because of who you are. Silence. I won't ask again. But I'm still here. I looked at him. Had no words. Just nodded. Lady Shen invited an Omega from the Lin family to the estate. Lin Suyi, 19 years old. Polished features. A way of speaking shaped to fit into great households. Looking at Shen Kaiheng with the eyes of someone who already knew where they belonged. I stood and poured tea for both of them. Hands steady, face unchanged. What was happening inside that was another matter entirely. Sibai, more water. Yes, my lady. I poured, bowed, stepped back to my position. That was my job. I did it well. Afterwards, Lady Shen called me into her private room. She sat. I stood. What did you think of the Lin Omega? Her voice was gentle. Excessively gentle. I bowed my head. Very suitable, my lady. Good family. Good standing. She looked out the window. A fitting match for Kaiheng. Yes. And what do you think? I have no opinion on young Master Kaiheng's affairs, my lady. Lady Shen looked at me, then nodded for me to leave. I stood in the corridor outside and went still. That was not a question. That was a warning. I understood why she hadn't done anything more forceful yet. My mother, Yulan, had served her for 20 years. Kept secrets that no outsider was meant to know. Was the one person in this estate Lady Shen had truly trusted. I was not my mother, but I was everything that remained of her. Lady Shen knew that, and that even just a little still held her hand back. Not because she was kind, but because she was a woman of her word. Mother had asked her for something before she died, and she was keeping it. The clan council met. I didn't know what was discussed. I only knew that after the meeting, the air inside the estate changed. The other servants began looking at me differently. Not directly sideways. The kind of glance that says someone knows something they won't say. The steward began assigning me tasks that were further away, heavier, longer. No official reason. No clear order. Just things slowly shifting. I did all of it. No complaint. No questions. Servants don't ask why. Kaiheng noticed. The kind of anger that wants to overturn the table but can't find the table. I'll talk to mother. Don't. I looked at him. If you speak up, it only makes things harder for me. So you'll just endure it? I can handle it. That's not the point. Kaiheng. I looked at him directly. I know who I am here. Let me deal with this myself. He stared at me for a long moment. Then sat down. Said nothing. But didn't leave either. Just sat there beside me. Shen Kaiheng found out I had been reassigned. He summoned the steward. Whose order? My lady's, young master. Silence. The steward waited. Kaiheng looked out the window. Understood. Yes. The steward left. Kaiheng told me about it afterwards. My brother did nothing. His voice was strange. He knew and did nothing. I nodded. I understand. And I genuinely did. That was the clearest answer I had ever received. But I understood it wrong. I thought Kaiheng did nothing because he chose the clan. The truth was different. He did nothing because he didn't know what I wanted him to do. I had never said. Never let it show. Never let him know what was happening inside me. Servants don't say things like that. But I didn't know that then. Back then, I only saw that he did nothing. And I thought I had my answer. I was reassigned to the storage quarters. No official order. The steward only said temporarily. I packed my things and went. No complaints. No asking when it would end. The storage quarters were at the far end of the estate. Away from Kaiheng's study. away from anyone's line of sight. The first night there, I sat in the dim little room, took out paper and brush, wrote a letter of resignation, finished it, stared at it, folded it and put it in the drawer. Not submitted, but written. Rumors began circulating through the estate. No one said anything to my face, just things I overheard in passing. That I was using omega pheromones to seduce both young masters. That I didn't know my place. That I should be grateful I was still here at all after my mother died. I heard everything, offered no rebuttal, no explanation. Who would a servant explain to? I just kept working on time, correctly, without a single mistake. Clean isn't enough. It has to be right. Mother's words. Still useful. Kaiheng found out who had started the rumors. One of Lady Shen's trusted servants. He was so angry his hands shook. No. I looked at him. Don't do anything. Don't you find this unfair? I do. Then, even so, I don't want you to act. I sat down, voice steadier than I expected. If you do, people will say I used you to retaliate. The rumors will only grow. Kaiheng looked at me, then sat down beside me, said nothing more. Lin Suyi walked past the storage quarters, saw Kaiheng sitting beside me on the floor. He stopped, looked at me once, not with anger, not with contempt, only the look of someone who has just confirmed what they had already suspected. Then he left. Kaiheng watched him go. Something will happen tonight. I know. Aren't you afraid? I stopped what I was doing and looked at him. What does fear change? Lady Shen called for me that evening. This time there was no gentleness. Do you know what you're doing? I knelt, head bowed low. I know my place, my lady. And yet this still happened? I have done nothing wrong, my lady. Silence. I raised my head. The first time I had ever looked up while Lady Shen was questioning me. I have not used pheromones to manipulate anyone. I have only done my work. She looked at me. In her eyes, something more complicated than anger. You may go. She thought of my mother. I knew it because, after that night, she did nothing more. Not because she agreed, but because something inside her would not allow her to act directly against the son of Yulan. Mother had served her for 20 years. Had never once asked for anything. Only once the night before she died. Let the boy stay. Will you? She had said yes. And she was keeping it, even if she was regretting it. That night, I sat in the small room in the storage quarters, took the letter out of the drawer, stared at it, then set it back down on the table. Didn't submit it, didn't tear it up, just left it there. Sometimes, just knowing you have a choice, even one you haven't used, is enough to get through one more day. I turned off the lamp and lay down, stared at the dark ceiling, thought of Kaiheng's notebook, thought of what Mother had told me, thought of the pastry he had left outside my door, then thought of the fact that he had done nothing. Exhaled, closed my eyes. Shen Kaiheng came down to the storage quarters to find me. The first time he had ever come here. I was organizing shelves when I heard familiar footsteps. Turned, he was standing at the entrance. Nobody knew he had come down. He hadn't told anyone. He looked at me for a moment, then walked in. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't ask. You knew I was reassigned. I met his eyes directly. You did nothing. I understand. There's nothing more to say. Kaiheng stood still. For the first time I had ever seen it, he didn't know what to say. I'm sorry. 3 words from Shen Kaiheng's mouth. I went still. He was not someone who apologized. Not someone who said things like that to anyone. It's not your fault, isn't it? I never told you anything. If you didn't know what I wanted, how could you have done anything? He looked at me. Then what do you want? Right now. I paused. That question so simple, it was frightening. No one had ever asked me that before. Shen Kaiheng ordered that I be returned to my original position. Lady Shen heard. Mother and son faced each other. Kaiheng told me about it afterwards. He said Mother kept Sibai here out of respect for Yulan. So I'm asking you once more. For Yulan. I listened quietly. What did Lady Shen say? Nothing. Kaiheng looked at me. But she didn't stop him. I looked down at my own hands. Mother. She was still protecting me. Even now, through words spoken by someone she had trusted for 20 years. I took the letter from the drawer, held it in my hand and walked out into the corridor. Shen Kaiheng was standing at the far end as though he had been waiting. He looked at the paper in my hand. You're leaving? You did nothing when I was sent away. I met his eyes. And now you ask? I know, I was wrong. And now that you're wrong? He was quiet for a long time. I did nothing because I didn't know what you wanted me to do. You never said. Then I'll say it now. I looked straight into his eyes. For the first time, no bowing, no looking away. I want to stay here. Not because there's nowhere else to go, but because I want to. He stood still. But I want to stay here as someone who has the right to be here, not as someone waiting to be thrown out. Shen Kaiheng looked at me, then held out his hand. Give me that. I handed it over. He tore it into small pieces. Let them fall to the floor. I watched them drift down without saying anything. Shen Kaiheng asked me directly for the first time, Do you have feelings for me? I stood in the middle of the study. Silence for a long time. Yes. He said nothing. But. No buts. He cut me off. Yes. I looked at him steadily. But that doesn't change anything, young master. Why do you still call me that? Because that's the truth. He looked at me for a long time. Then exhaled. I see. Turned back to his desk. But I could see his hand tightening around his pen. Kaiheng overheard that conversation. He found me afterwards. Didn't say much. Just sat down on the garden steps beside me. You like my brother? Not a question. Kaiheng. It's fine. He looked up at the sky. I've known for a long time. Just didn't want to admit it. Long silence. I still like you, he said quietly. But I don't want you to choose me just because it's easier. Kaiheng. Don't. You don't need to say anything. He stood up and went inside. I sat alone, watching his back. There are people who are kind to you in ways that hurt more than those who harm you. Kaiheng was that kind of person. His feelings were real. His love was real. He asked for nothing in return. And because of that, I didn't know how to process what I was feeling. Not guilt. Something heavier than guilt. The feeling of someone who knows they are receiving something beautiful and cannot give back anything equal to it. That night, Shen Kaiheng called me into the study. Something was different this time. He wasn't sitting at his desk. He stood by the window, looking out. Sibai. Yes. What do you want? I went still. Not what I want. Not what Kaiheng wants. He turned to look at me. You. What do you want? For the first time in my life, someone who had the power to change the answer was asking me this. I opened my mouth, then closed it. I don't know how to answer that, young master. The clan called an emergency meeting. They put a final deadline before Shen Kaiheng, the Lin contract, signed within 3 days. Kaiheng sat and listened, face unchanged. And if I don't sign? The clan will reconsider the succession. Silence. I understand. He stood, walked out, didn't sign, didn't refuse, just walked out. Lin Suyi met with Shen Kaiheng privately. No pressure, no pleading. I know there's someone you care about. Kaiheng looked at him. I'm not here to compete. Lin Suyi's voice was calm. I just want you to know the clan won't let this go, regardless of what you choose. I was not. I know. Are you certain? Kaiheng looked out the window. Not yet. Lin Suyi nodded and stood to leave. Let me know when you are. Shen Kaiheng announced his refusal of the Lin match. Before the clan council. No lengthy explanation. My decision is made. Speak now if you have something to say. Some spoke. Some didn't. He listened to all of it. Then nodded. I've heard you. My answer remains the same. Walked out. Lady Shen sat at the head of the table watching her son without a word. For the first time, she was silent in a moment like this. The clan responded. Not loudly. Not with direct prohibitions. Just began cutting things, privileges, assets, business connections. One by one. Slowly. Deliberately. Kaiheng absorbed each blow and said nothing to me. I heard from someone else. Found him immediately. You're giving up too much. I know. For me, I know. Are you certain? No. He looked at me directly. But if I do nothing, I know I'll regret it. Kaiheng found me. Didn't try to confess again. No competition. Just sat down on the steps beside me. Are you happy? I don't know if I'm allowed to be. He looked at me. Those are two different things. I know. Then answer me. I looked at him for a while. I honestly don't know. Kaiheng nodded. Then find out. Shen Kaiheng called me to the study that night. This time he was sitting on the floor, not at his desk. Back against the wall. Looking up at the ceiling. I stood at the door. Young master? Sit down. I sat down beside him. On the floor. Side by side. Not master and servant. He said nothing. I said nothing either. Just sat there in silence. For the first time in my life, I sat beside someone without needing to be anything at all. I'm afraid. He said it quietly. I turned to look at him. Not of the clan. Not of losing property. He still stared at the ceiling. I'm afraid you'll leave. Because you think you're a burden. I sat still. Are you thinking that? Long silence. Yes. He turned to look at me. For the first time, I saw that his eyes were not cold. Then don't. Easy to say. I know. He didn't argue. But listen, it's not about whether you're a burden or not. I want you to stay, because I want you to. You're losing too much. I'm choosing. He cut me off. You don't get to decide that in my place. I looked at him. He looked back at me. Neither of us looked away first. What do you want? He asked again. What do you actually want? I knocked on Lady Shen's door. Alone. Without warning. She opened it and looked at me surprised in the way she rarely let show. My lady, I'd like to speak with you. She looked at me for a moment. Then opened the door wider. Come in. The two of us sat facing each other. For the first time, truly. May I ask? My lady, why didn't you send me away from the start? Lady Shen looked out the window. You already know why. I want to hear you say it. Long silence. Because of your mother, she said quietly. Yulan served me for 20 years. She never once asked me for anything. Only once the night before she died. What did she ask? To let you stay. And you agreed. I keep my word. Do you hate me, my lady? I don't hate you. Lady Shen looked at me directly. I hate the circumstances. You are an Omega, the son of a servant. Kaiheng is the heir to this clan. I know. If not for Yulan, you would have been gone long ago. I know that too. She looked at me for a long moment. You're like your mother. What do you mean? She never begged either. Lady Shen looked out the window. But she knew how to make people want to help her without asking. I didn't come here to ask you for anything. Lady Shen turned to look at me. I came to tell you this decision belongs to Kaiheng, not to me. I can't stop him. I won't ask him to stop. Then what do you want from me? I want you to know if he loses something because of this. That is his choice, not my fault. Silence. And there's one more thing I want you to know. What? I love Shen Kaiheng. Not because he's a young master, but because he was the first person who ever asked me what I wanted. Lady Shen sat very still after those words. I didn't know what she was thinking. Didn't know what she would say. Just waited. Finally, she stood and walked to the window. Go. My lady. I need to think. Her voice was not cold, just tired. Go. I bowed my head. Walked out. Stood outside the door for a moment. Then exhaled. I didn't know if I had won or lost. Didn't know if it was the right thing to do. I only knew I had needed to say it. And now I had. Kaiheng found me one last time. Sat down on the garden steps. Didn't start speaking right away. Just sat quietly for a while. Then, I'm not going to fight for this anymore. Kaiheng, I've known for a long time. I just didn't want to accept it. He smiled, but this time the smile looked tired. I lost. But it's all right. You didn't lose anything. I lost you. He looked at me. And that's something I can live with. Kaiheng flicked my forehead lightly. That same gesture he'd always used since we were children. Choose because you want to, not because you're afraid. He stood up, went inside. I sat alone on the steps, looked out at the dark garden, thought about the question Kaiheng had asked me. What do you want? And for the first time I let myself answer it honestly. Not the way I was supposed to answer, but what I actually wanted. I knocked on Shen Kaiheng's study door that night. My own decision this time. He opened it and looked at me. Do you truly want this? Want what? To give up everything. I met his eyes. For me. He didn't answer immediately. Stood looking at me for a moment, then reached out his hand and placed it over mine. I looked down at his hand resting on mine, closed my eyes for 1 second, and did not pull my hand away. The clan didn't stop. They shifted targets. No longer toward Kaiheng, toward me. Some in the estate refused to work alongside me. Some stopped greeting me when we passed. Some said it to my face. What could an Omega like you give Kaiheng? No name, no standing, no status. I stood and listened to all of it. No argument, no tears. Bowed my head. I understand. Turned away. I went back to my room. Sat very still for a long time. Those words were not without reason. I knew that. An ordinary Omega, a servant's son. Nothing to offer but myself. Kaiheng deserved someone better. I knew that. But I also knew he had already chosen. And he was not someone who chose without thinking. I took out paper, wrote the letter again. This time not out of fear, but out of love. Shen Kaiheng found it. You're leaving again? You're leaving again. I don't want you to lose anything more because of me. That's not your decision to make. But, Sibai, he used my name. Not you. Not a pronoun. My name. I stopped speaking. I've calculated everything. All of it. I know what I'm losing. He looked at me directly. And I'm choosing you. I cried. For the first time in front of another person since my mother died. Couldn't hold it back. Not from sadness. Not from joy. Just there are things you hold inside for so long that one day there is simply no more room. Shen Kaiheng stood there. Said nothing. Did nothing. Just stood there. When I stopped, he reached up and gently wiped one side of my face. Only that. What do you want? He asked again. This time I had an answer. I want to stay here. Here with me? Here with you. I looked at him. Not because there's nowhere else, but because I choose to. Shen Kaiheng looked at me for a long time. Then he placed his hand over mine, held it gently. Said nothing more. Nothing needed to be said. The next morning, Shen Kaiheng stood before the clan council for the last time. No apology. No lengthy speech. My decision is made. Sibai stays with formal standing. Speak now if you disagree. Some spoke. He heard them all. Then nodded. I've heard you. My answer doesn't change. Walked out. Lady Shen did not object in that meeting. Did not support it. But did not block it. Afterward, Kaiheng went to see her. What do you think, mother? She looked out the window. I think my son knows what he's doing. So you accept it? I don't accept it. She said quietly. I'm simply no longer standing in the way. Those are two different things. Kaiheng looked at her. Yulan would thank you. Lady Shen said nothing, but her hand tightened slightly at her side. Kaiheng picked up his luggage and walked out to the courtyard. Going abroad to study genuinely this time. I ran out to see him off. The two of us looked at each other, neither knowing what to say first. He flicked my forehead, that same gesture. Take care of yourself. Kaiheng. I'm off to find someone who likes me first. He laughed loudly. The world is wide. Turned around. Got in the car. I stood watching until it disappeared. This time I cried. Didn't hold back. For missing him. For being grateful to him. For the fact that he was good, in a way not everyone manages to be. Shen Kaiheng stood beside me saying nothing. Just there. Until I stopped crying. Will he be all right? Kaiheng? He looked in the direction the car had gone. He'll be more all right than anyone I know. I know. But I still worry. Then worry. He looked at me. Worrying without needing a reason, that's the right of someone who cares about another person. I looked at him. He said things like that with a face still as cold as always. But I knew he wasn't cold. I had known that for a long time. I sat down to eat in the main dining room for the first time. Not standing behind anyone. Not pouring tea for anyone. Just sitting. I looked out at the corridor beyond the place where I had stood looking in when I was 4 years old. That door. That smell of food. Now I was on the inside. I didn't know what I was supposed to feel. I just sat there and let the feeling stay, without pushing it away. The clan still hadn't fully accepted it. There were still those looks. Still those words spoken behind my back. But Kaiheng didn't waver. And slowly it became less. A little at a time. I learned to stand straight under those gazes. Not because it stopped hurting, but because standing straight doesn't require the pain to be gone first. Mother taught me that. Not with words. With the way she lived. One morning I brought tea to the study as usual. Set the cup down. Bowed my head out of old habit. Sit down. I looked up. Kaiheng was pointing at the chair beside his desk. Sit down. Have tea with me. I looked at that chair. Then sat down. The two of us drank tea in silence. A comfortable silence. Not the silence of master and servant, but of two people learning how to simply be together without needing a reason. I went to Mother's grave. Set down the flowers. Stood still for a long time. Mother. Wind moved through the garden. I stayed. Not because there was nowhere else to go. A pause. But because I chose to. Stood a moment longer. You were right. She kept her word. Straightened up. Walked away. 1 year later. Lady Shen passed me in the corridor. She stopped. I bowed my head from old habit. She looked at me for a moment. Have you eaten? I looked up. Not yet, my lady. Go eat. She walked on. I stood watching her back. That was not forgiveness. Not acceptance. But it was the beginning of something. Lady Shen placed a cup of tea in front of me and sat down. No one had asked her to. No explanation given. Just sat. The two of us drank tea in silence. No mention of the past. No talk of anything new. Just sat. Both of us knowing this was the final step of something longer than this story. A letter arrived from Kaiheng, with a photograph him smiling brightly somewhere far away, beside someone I had never met. I looked at the photo, smiled softly, set it on the table. Shen Kaiheng came in, saw the photograph, said nothing, just sat down beside me, put his arm around me, looked at the photo with me. He's all right. Yes, I sat in the old corridor, this time on the inside, looking out. I knew what that 4-year-old boy standing out there had felt. Now I was on the inside, not because anyone permitted it, because I chose it. Footsteps. Shen Kaiheng sat down beside me. Asked nothing. Just sat there. Hey. I think Mother would be happy. He held my hand a little tighter. Said nothing. Wind moved through the corridor. Some years later, Kaiheng came back. With the person from the photograph. I ran out and held him tightly. He ruffled my hair like he used to. Shen Kaiheng stood at the entrance, watching. For the first time I saw him smile, truly smile, looking at his younger brother. Dinner for 4 in the main dining room. The sound of conversation, laughter, chopsticks, bowls. I sat inside, not standing behind anyone. Looked out at the dark corridor beyond. Then looked back at this table. For the first time, those two things didn't feel far apart anymore. After dinner, Kaiheng pulled me to the old corner of the garden. "Are you happy?" I looked at him. "Not always. But this is where I want to be." Kaiheng nodded slowly. "That's enough." Flicked my forehead one last time. Went inside. I stood alone in the garden. Looked up at the dark sky. Thought of Mother. Of the letter I had written and torn apart. Of the notebook that recorded everything about me across so many years. Of the coat placed over my shoulders on the night I couldn't cry. Then Shen Kaiheng came out and stood beside me. Said nothing. I leaned my head against his shoulder. "Hey. Thank you." He said nothing. Just stood there. Wind moved through the garden. That gate, the one I pushed open with my own hands at the beginning of this story, is still there. As heavy as it was. But now I know I can open it. Not to leave. Because I choose to stay. Those are two different things. Mother told me that when I was very small. Now I finally understand what she meant. Someone once asked me, is it worth it to love someone above your station? I never knew how to answer that. Because, for 20 years, I never dared ask it of myself. All I knew was to stand behind. Behind the door. Behind the backs of others. In places where no one looked. And believe that was where I belonged. Until someone stepped out. Stood level with me. And asked, "What do you want?" No one had ever asked me that. Not even me, I had never asked myself. Love does not choose your standing. But the world does. If it were you, would you dare love someone the whole world says you're not worthy of? Or would you choose to stand forever behind that door? Looking in, but never stepping through?